Good morning, this is E. Around 9:20, Monday morning, the 14th of January. And quick update for those in the room. Remember to use risk capital you can afford to lose. If you're playing this game, it's a risky business. Now we're taking a look at the overnight chart. There's a couple of discrepancies we need to be aware of. First one is that there's missing from this puzzle about 3 points up here from that last close. So it skews this just a tad. So we need to understand that a couple of points above this middle is probably closer to the truth about the middle. So we've got 79.5 or so as the middle right now. Obviously, that's an important resistance zone typically. But for now, we're just going to show this, and I'll show you later. Those that want to take the widget and apply that, you can manually put that spread if you want. We're just going to assume that that's our most important resistance zone right now, actually from, say, 78 to 83. So it's a burden on the longs to get it back there and above, hold the lows and then push back. So this is the overnight chart, and an important one. We know that we lost that 77 from Friday overnight, and usually we'll put a point or so above it as the first resistance when it's retested, and then if that holds, then assume that we're going back to retest the lows or create a new low. Okay, and this is a look at last week's range. It's an important idea. Last night when I posted in the room, I had suggested you probably want to get paid by that 72s to 68s, just below, a few points below this last low that has been taken out, and that may be for profit taking. We never know. It could flash down 100 points, but that was my interpretation based on the 30-minute chart. Is a 15, but this is the chart that I was looking at and I posted in the room. Because I could see S2 was here, and I can look at the rain line coming up, and I'm looking over here at these lows saying, okay, what's that all about? Where's potential support? So this next low back here is in the 62 region. So I'm suggesting that that's our next support target, and just below that is this 60.5, and that is actually going to represent on a different scale where I believe our next true support has to be coming in, which is going to be the middle of this range right in here. All right, that's got to be considered next important support if we take out the low. And if we go to a bigger scale, we're going to see 59.25. So that, in my opinion, is the next important support level. And I don't want to just conclude today has to flash down and keep on going and get a mirror day to this. I said at some point we should get a mirror day to a day like this, but I don't believe we're ready for that yet. I believe we have to break this 59.25 level. So right now, this is the range that I think is most important, and that's what I posted in the room, that I want to look at this level, the 79.5 area, as an important flipper between this 59.25 and obviously the 99.5. So we can get above this 79 and abort, and if we come back down, that's good for the shorts. If we get above and stay there, that's terrible for the shorts. So realistically right now, all we know is we've had a pretty good size swing from overnight. We've come down, we've held the lows at 67 to 72 for now. And all we've got is a fairly wimpy bounce coming back up, and we are still probing to see if we can get back up above Friday's low and into Friday's range. So that's the essence of step by step. And you can't just assume that, okay, let's just close our eyes and short. I believe we've got a two-way day. We also have, I believe, options X this week. That is going to materially affect decisions. So for now, I'm still going to think, okay, this was a good move south side, but that's all. It's just a start. I don't want to conclude that this is going to be, excuse me, be lights out for the longs. We still have a target, 26.06 and a quarter. And that is our resistance for now. And this is an example of risk and reward. We open up, gap down, and then obviously continue down overnight. But that still hasn't ruled that out as a potential target. Here's last year's range. And we can see that we've got a very healthy bounce off of the floor. We've come back to the 40 back. That's at the 53 area, which is below that 59 we talked about. So we know that that's an important level if we ever do get below 59. We also know that, as we've talked, this should be fairly obvious to anyone who is fairly accomplished in trading, that people that are throwing out 26, 31, 32 area as my next target, but you have to go step by step. So let's say you were at 95. You've already come backwards, what, 25 points or so just to get up there and get that. So that's part of trading, and the hard part nobody wants to acknowledge. Everybody loves throwing out, and this is not a knock on Zeke by any means, so don't take it that way, because I noticed he had posted that number. It's an awareness on his part that this is a level that obviously the longs would like to get back to the 50% test. 456. So all we know is that this level right here from 53 to that 32 is what we are fighting right now. And so this week it's important to see, do we get more retracement backwards, or do we in fact hold and try to get back up there? So day by day we're going to keep asking that question, where are we? Look at the predictive model. Remember last week we said that 78, this was a flipper? Well, guess what? Still is. So we've broken that. We've come down, tested a couple levels. You can see this gigantic push. And remembering that the 88.75 was the scene of the crime, right? So now that's going to become an important marker for us. And currently, this is the range that we are fighting right now. Probably this 68 support and 78 resistance and 73 and a quarter middle. That's probably as good. And if you want to take it back a point and say 67 and 77 and 72, fine. Same idea. This is the range that currently, since 4:30 or so, the market has been in substantially, just trying to absorb the overnight push. So this is the way we can look at a number of different charts and try to decide what are the best odds. What should we be doing at the open, if anything? So I submit that until we break that 88, that's our big resistance for now. And obviously, we need to factor in this 78. So we also need to factor in the 68, and let's think about this as a range type trade. Anybody that's shorting the open, a reminder, the convenient trade was the bounce. Be careful today about testing the lows and then getting a bounce back. And I do believe it's a two-way day. Conservative traders sidelines first couple of minutes.